Hello and welcome to this episode of Kennedy Saves the World. I have an actual influencer in my midst. This is very exciting. She does really, really funny videos on her TikTok and Instagram. I don't have TikTok. I do have Instagram. Madison Humphrey is here. Madison, welcome to Kennedy Saves the World. So your videos are so funny and they're so real. And I
Thank
die for
you.
them because you do these incredible characters. And there's so many things, particularly about your generation, that people are fascinated with. And one of them that you have made fun of so brilliantly is gender reveals. So
Yeah.
when did the gender reveal catch on, and why are people so obsessed with them?
I think people are obsessed with them because they're getting crazier and crazier. It's like people are now blowing things up to reveal gender. It's crazy. But yeah, I got started doing them, I think a year and a half ago. My husband and I were making these like kind of spoofs of wedding videos. And then randomly one day I had a follower tag me in some crazy gender reveal and she was like, "You should recreate this."
Do
And so
this.
yeah, and so then we recreated it and it did really well. And then I think ever since then, people just started tagging me in more gender reveal videos, and then it kind of escalated from there.
I
So,
mean,
but
that's
they're
the
so
great
fun
thing
to
about social
recreate.
media is it is so interactive. And
Yes, yeah.
people know what they like. They know what makes them laugh, and what a great way to find inspiration.
Exactly. Yeah, and it's really cool because I feel like I can develop a relationship with my followers in a way because they find things that they think are funny and they think I think will think is funny, and they tag me in them, and then I'm able to recreate those. So it's yeah, it's a cool dynamic for
Have
sure.
you been to actual gender reveal parties?
Yes, I've been to two,
And what are
but
they
they were
like?
oh, these were very normal. They were friends. So, I mean, it was, they just pop a balloon and there's like, some confetti that falls out or you slice a cake.
Hmm.
But I think the ones we're recreating are like insane. Like
Like
people
the
are
igloo. Tell me about the igloo.
like the bubble.
Hmm.
Okay, so that was someone posted like you because another thing that's happening a lot in gender reveals recently is mother-in-laws, and mother-in-laws are kind of jumping in and getting involved, and maybe I think a lot of the times it's like the excitement of the moment and
Hmm.
they just get really excited. They forget that, oh wait, this isn't my time to shine. But that's been another
They
like
can't help
segment.
themselves.
They can't help themselves. They just get really excited. And so this one was kind of it was like a big blow up balloon in a way, and so
Almost
you get
almost like a
inside of it.
snow globe.
Yeah, almost like a snow, hard to breathe in there. Yeah, when you go in there, it's like it's hard to breathe. But yeah, so it was like just being funny about the couple who did it. They did their gender reveal in there, and it was so that the mother-in-law couldn't get inside and like jump on the father and kind of ruin the moment. So we recreated it and this one we put our own spin on and got permission from the original creators, of course, but put our own spin on it. And I played the crazy mother-in-law, just banging on the
Yeah,
outside trying to get in.
you're banging on this snow globe because
Yeah.
the blue balloons start coming up. And
Yeah. Yeah.
what is the motivation of the mother-in-law at that point?
Um, like in that skit or just like
Yes.
in general?
And that
The motivation of the mother-in-law is that she's furious that she can't get to the sun. Because she thought she was going to be able to, she couldn't. And obviously I'm being way over dramatic with it,
but
but
that's what makes it funny is
yeah.
and so it's funny. I was talking to my daughters about this very phenomenon because one of my daughters dated a guy whose mom was clearly obsessed with him. Like the mom
Yeah.
was in love with the son, and it was uncomfortable for everybody. Like
Yeah.
it
It
was,
happens.
it was a very odd dynamic. And they were asking me, like, can you imagine what a mother in law like that would be like at our wedding, and it's like you can just see the mother-in-law like, taking a piece of the wedding cake as the two of them are feeding each other and just like reaching her hand and they're like, honey, let me feed you, little dumpling. Nom, 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 nom. Take a
Yeah.
big bite. Ew.
Yeah, I think another thing that comes up at weddings is the mother-son dances.
Hmm.
And so we've recreated a few of those too. But yeah, that's another
What's your
whole
favorite?
other thing. What's my favorite skit? out of those that I've
Yes,
done.
the mother son
Um,
dance that you
yeah,
recreated.
we made one a year ago that we did just like outside in a neighborhood, and my siblings helped film it of my husband and I, and just the whole concept of like me pretending to be the mom and dancing. It was like we just couldn't get through it. We were all just dying laughing. The video did really well because it was horrible. Like, the concept of what we were making was horrible, but that was probably my favorite one.
No, I love it because is that a new thing that that have mothers always been obsessed with their sons like that?
I think there's a really good balance. I think like there's some moms are amazing and they're superheroes and they do so much, for everyone in the world right now. But
Thank you.
I think
Thank you.
I think that with social media, everything is heightened times a million. So now, like in the past, like growing up, maybe we didn't see all these awkward moments because we didn't have social media like we have today. So now everything's filmed, everything's posted. People jump to conclusions really fast online. And so I think some things that maybe were minor can be just escalated really quickly. Um, which I think is where a lot of these like cringy videos come in, because I think a lot of the times people when they post them they don't think they're cringy, and then they get to the comments and they're like, oh, maybe this was weirder than I thought.
That's okay, but that's a really good point. What is it about TikTok? And explain for people who don't understand the difference in how these things work. What is it about TikTok that allows something that would maybe be innocuous to completely blow up?
I think in part it's the algorithm and how many videos get pushed out a day. I mean, it's insane. And I think the accessibility on TikTok, I mean, you post a video and it can get pushed out to millions of people. Like you don't even have to have a following. Your video can just blow up and it can be pushed all over the world and then shared and commented and reposted, and then, that all engages the algorithm in a way. So it can just get a really big reach where like some people may not be prepared for that in a way because they just posted it thinking it'll just go to their friends and family, like if they're not on private, if their profile isn't on private, but
Hmm.
if it's on a public profile, it has the potential to go to millions of people and then get millions of comments and opinions and all sorts of things. And some people really like that. That's really fun to some people, and some people just really don't.
Yeah, but it also allows people to have an inside joke right away. Like my daughters will quote things and I have absolutely no idea what they're talking about. And it'll
Yeah.
be it'll be something from a TikTok video, like a 4-second clip. And they
Yeah.
both know what it means, and everyone in their friend groups, like they know what it means. And it's this instant shorthand that, it's not the same on other social media platforms. It's really interesting.
Right. There becomes like these like niche areas of the internet on TikTok that can explode and get really specific. And like you said, like the quoting of the sounds or the
Yes.
recreating of the dance moves, and it becomes very like you start to feel connected in a way to those very specific trends going on. And the trends come and go so fast too. I mean, like they're in, they're out, they're all over the place.
Yeah, I think that's what's addictive about it. Like,
Yeah.
and in some ways that's great because if you if you set aside time every day for rot, and one of my daughter's friends does, which I think is hysterical. Like she pencils it into her
Her
day.
schedule.
Yeah.
I love that.
Then you need that. Like you need a way to disconnect, but in another way it does become too addictive and it does limit socialization and brain growth and things like that. Is there a part of what you do? Is there a line where you think it goes too far and you worry about crossing that?
Yeah, I think as I've, made this my full-time job, social media, for about 2 years now, I've definitely learned how to mentally separate from social media, also my work, and then like my personal life. Because, like you said, social media is very addicting. So when it's also your work and you're spending so much time into it, it can become all consuming. Like I could be on it all day and all night without even realizing it. And then, like social media is so incredible and there's so many amazing aspects of it, but there also is a really dark side of social media as well. So I think just learning how to protect your mental health, even if you're not doing this as a job, just as you're scrolling and you're spending time on these apps, just learning to separate that and getting involved in things outside of social media to help kind of like work your brain in different areas.
What do you do to
At least
balance
that's
it?
what I love spending time with my family. I love horseback riding and I love running. So those are kind of three things, and reading. Those are kind of the things I do just to get my mind off of social media and doom scrolling.
Yeah, I think that's really important. And do you let your followers know that you do that?
Yeah, yeah. I've been, especially with reading and books, I've been very open with them that that's something I love. And there's something on TikTok called like book talk.
Hmm.
So it's like a book talk community. So my audience knows I'm really passionate about that. I've shared, that I love horseback riding. I'm starting to share more of my personal life just about like fitness and stuff like that. But I think what is unique, at least for me, for my content, is that I do a lot of comedy.
Hmm.
So it's not so much sharing every aspect of my personal life, which I think is good because I can keep it separate a little bit and just share bits and pieces. Because people are opinionated and it can seep into different areas of your life if you're not careful.
Don't go anywhere. More Kennedy Saves the World right after this.
No, but I love the comedy because that really is something that binds people together. There's nothing more universal than being able to laugh at ourselves, laugh at society. And you do such a great job of tapping into things where people go, oh my God, that's my mom. My mom totally did that. When you have like the moms competing at the park at a sporting event, it's so great. And I think that's using all of this very positively. And I think like it's good to poke fun at things. Like we shouldn't be so overly sensitive that we forget how to laugh.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point and something I've learned just from doing this and trying to do comedy and skit format for 2 years is that I can take myself really seriously. And so this has been a nice way to just relax a little bit and just have fun and be funny and take certain situations. I feel like that's what I try to do a lot of times with my skits
Hmm.
is pull out different situations that we all, experience in our life, whether it's dealing with our moms or touring apartments or going and touring wedding venues. Like I have all these different characters that I kind of do for those different skits. So it's been fun to take situations that we all experience and just kind of make make fun of them in a lighthearted way. And like you said, just not take yourself too serious.
Yeah, making light of things is so incredibly necessary. And when things get too heavy, we get away from that. So it really is, in its own way, bringing society back into balance. So when you talk about, this is your full time job, which platform are you able to monetize the most?
Um, I would say probably Instagram. But really where I, make my money for this being my full-time job is through brand deals. And I have an incredible manager who helps me with all of that. But I think that's when it kind of became more of a full-time job for me was when brands started coming in and I was like, oh, I really don't know what to do with this here. But now I've been, doing it for 2 years. So now we're in a rhythm.
Okay, so obviously social media is incredibly dynamic.
Yeah.
And, it's nothing in this realm stays the same. How do you see it changing and how do you see yourself changing with it in like 5 years? How do you see it being different? And where do you go with it? How do you see yourself evolving down a changing road?
Oh, that is a really good question. I think with social media, like I kind of touched on earlier, it's always changing. Every day it moves really fast. I really see it becoming more like a mainstream media,
Hmm.
to where, people used to watch TV a lot more than they do now. And that's where a lot of, commercials and advertisers put their money into commercials. And I think a lot of it is kind of flipping to social media just because of how many people are on it, how fast paced it is. I mean, I think I read somewhere that the attention span of someone when they scroll through a post or scroll through a video is like 0.2 seconds. So you
Ooh.
have like 0.2 seconds to like catch their attention and then they're gone. So I think, in the future, we'll see a lot more of mainstream media being brought to social media.
Hmm.
And I think, like for example, Dancing with the Stars. I don't know if you watched that show, but
Yes.
they just did like a TikTok night.
Yes.
And so I think we'll see more of that being incorporated into just shows and TV and movies in general because it's becoming such I mean, and people go if they want to look up something or research something, a lot of times people will go to TikTok or social media instead of just using the internet, like
Hmm.
in the past. So I think it'll become a lot more even I mean it's super involved in our society today, but I could see it I mean just really being involved, which I mean is good, and but there's also other things that you just need to watch out for as it becomes more involved in everyday life. And so I think moving forward for me, that's just something to keep an eye on and to think about and be mindful of, especially as I continue to pursue it down the road.
Do you ever look at this and go, man, I wish I'd gotten in 5 years sooner, or did you get in at the right time?
I think no, I think it all worked out, how it was supposed to for me, because right out of college, I was sideline reporting for college football.
Nice.
And
Yay,
this was
I love college
2021.
football.
I know it was such a fun job, and I was really late to the TikTok game. I mean, I wasn't even. I think I posted like a few times a year on Instagram. I just wasn't a social media savvy person.
Hmm.
But my husband and my sister convinced me to download TikTok, and I had gotten my minor in theater. And so when I downloaded TikTok, I was like, oh, people are making little skits. That's so fun. I miss acting. I'll just, upload a few and that'll be that. And then they just started doing really well. And I was just filming with my little tripod. And then one day my husband filmed a skit for me and that did really well. And I was like, oh, this is interesting. I could start making characters and writing scripts and pretending I'm like, conducting a theater production or directing a theater production. Like I could do all these things. And so then it started growing from there and then became my full-time job like 6 months after that.
Well, you
So
are
been
living
doing it
your
ever
dream.
since.
I mean, this is, when people go to college and they try to pick majors, I know there are a lot of people who are my daughter's ages who are like, I want to be an influencer. But it takes a lot of work, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does take a lot of work. And I've learned, like I kind of mentioned earlier, work-life balance is interesting when your job is social media because you kind of also want to
The
use
lines
social
are
media for
blurred.
fun. The
Yes.
lines are blurred. It's very weird, but yeah, it is a lot of work behind the scenes, but it's good work, and I'm always thankful. Like I'm just really thankful that this is my job because I have so much fun doing it. I have an incredible fan base that are just so supportive and fun, and so I just even when I get stressed about the job, I always feel just really thankful that I get to continue to try and pursue this career.
Well, many years of success to you. You've got 4.2 million TikTok followers, 1.2 million on Instagram. You're obviously doing something right. Your videos are so funny. I can't wait to see
Thank you.
what subjects you tackle in the future. And much love and many years to you and your husband. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
So, Madison Humphrey, have a wonderful day and return to us again here on the podcast.
I will. I will. Thank you guys.
Awesome. This has been Kennedy Saves the World. Along with Madison, I'm Kennedy.
Listen ad-free with a Fox News Podcast Plus subscription on Apple Podcasts, and Amazon Prime members can listen to this show ad-free on the Amazon Music app. Oh, go ahead and leave me a review while you're there. I'd love to hear what you have to say. You've been listening to Kennedy Saves the World on the Fox News Podcast Network.